Welcome back to Bunny Banter, first and only podcast for everything Killer Bunnies. I'm your host Matt, here with co-host Mikey.
Hello.
And as a guest today, whenever today is, I don't actually know, we have Chris.
Still waiting on the eggnog.
So, yeah, we're recording this early in preparation for the holiday season coming up. What are we talking about today, Mikey?
Today, we are talking about one of the greatest creations ever made by Jeffrey Neal Bellinger.
Psychic Penguins.
The most... Yeah! No. The most exciting game in the Killer Bunnies universe.
Still
Kinder
Psychic Penguins. Oh, Kinder Bunnies. Okay. Psychic Penguins is probably a close second. I wouldn't know. We've never played it and never seen it, so probably. Who knows?
How come Jeff doesn't leak that instead of...
What? Okay.
Huh?
What? Oh, who said that? Okay. Yeah, we're doing the booster review for the Kinder Bunnies set. We are not doing a separate booster review for the blue and yellow of Kinder Bunnies, unlike we did for Star Set, because strictly speaking, blue has no card text on it. So we'd be talking about,
Safety Hazard 2.
I like Safety Hazard 2 because it reminds me of my traumatic childhood. That one is accurate. Look up which one I'm talking about in case you want a story. Haha. But no, we happen to all pick cards from the yellow set, so we're just going to roll with that. It's basically a booster review series of Kinder Yellow. Although Kinder Blue definitely belongs in the quest line as well. We are talking about these cards primarily within the context of adding them to the full set of quests, and not so much within the context of, hey, this is what happens if you play exclusively Kinder Standalone, because none of us have actually really done that, because we don't have kids. Yet. Chris is working on that, maybe. Eventually.
Baby Chris's.
Haha!
The world isn't ready.
The world isn't ready for that. But once he does, we have Kinder Bunnies color sheets for the kids. Haha! When there's dedicated coloring sheets, you know you're in for a good booster. Okay.
Kaylin, get the mop!
So, as usual with the booster review series, we will each have one banned card where we don't like the card for whatever reason. Maybe we don't like drawing it, maybe we don't like it having it played against us, maybe we don't like it out of principle because we don't like the mechanic, who knows? Then we'll have our top 3 favorite cards from the set. So, starting off right away with my banned card. My banned card is the Bad News Tornado. This should come to surprise to no one who knows me. I do not like delay of game. It seems painful, and this one is unavoidable. When the tornado hits, player who drew it must return all but 1 carrot and discard all but 1 bunny. How devastating! When I frequently play within a 2-player context, 3-player context, 4-player context, very rarely more than that. Each player usually has a relevant amount of carrots, so if this is drawn, that's potentially a minus 30 carrots returned to the market, and all of a sudden we've delayed the game by a lot. That's about 1 hour when playing with Chris and me, but still, no, I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. It's a delay of game. We don't like that. So that's why I picked Bad News Tornado. It's just because of the delay of game, and unlike Wheels, Freshness Center, and cards like that, which have the option to play them, and you can blame someone for playing it, there's really no way to avoid the Bad News Tornado unless you got that No News is Good News card, the very special. That's also from Kinder. Better save that for exclusively Bad News Tornado. Don't you dare waste it on a standard Bad News card. You will get punished, hopefully. Or hopefully not. I don't want the game to delay. That's my number 1 pick. Bad News Tornado.
No, that's
Oh, excuse me.
ban.
That's my ban. That's my number 1 ban. Number 1 pick as well if my opponent draws, I suppose, but that's my ban. I'm awake today. We've already recorded 1 episode. I felt like we were at the end, so I said number 1, but we're actually back at the beginning. Aha!
It's a long day.
Yes. What's your ban, Chris?
I chose buyback. It allows you to buy one card on the discard. Oh, but wait. It's only Kinder cards, and it doesn't say it on the card. Bad gameplay!
Yes, every time I'm moderating a game or playing in a game with less experienced players, and they have buyback, and they set it down because they're really excited. They're like, "Oh wow, buying back any card from the discard pile, that's really amazing," or at least hopefully they're thinking that. Because it is really amazing. Retrieval is a fair and balanced card, and that's only the top 5 cards and only run cards. This is any card, haha, or not. And the Mix Master, not the bits, the Mix Master, for mixing in Kinder Bunnies with Quest, it is specified that buyback may only purchase Kinder cards. That you can get back your relevant Kinder cards. You can get back the Bad News Tornado if you're really feeling masochistic. um, wouldn't recommend it, but you could. You can buy back a Kinder Bunny. You could buy back take a carrot. You could buy back a safety hazard. Any of those, which are relatively lower value for the most part, but none of the actual relevant cards like Ice 9 that you'd want to purchase. Which is what people actually want to use it for. But it feels bad because it's not mentioned in the bits because it shouldn't be mentioned in the bits because the bits are for Kinder. It needs to be mentioned in the Mixmaster, and several people don't even know the Mixmaster exists. So I was very close to putting it as my band as well, but Chris happened to put it there for the same exact reasons. So that made my choice easy. What was your band, Mikey?
Mine was Switcheroo. All players roll one die. Any players that roll the same number must leave all their cards and switch seats. I hate cards like this. I don't like Atlas Shrugged. I don't like these cards where I have to leave my given hand. You know, even if I have bad cards, I have a plan, or at least some knowledge of a general direction I'm going to go, and I do not like having to get up and be put in a new place with a bunch of new cards that I have to try to figure out what I'm going to do with. And, when I save a card or something like that, I'm like, okay, so I know that if this comes, I can look forward to this. But then I have to sit down and I have to try to memorize all the save specials and everything that's in the hand. I hate that. And so, yeah, I do not like this card. This is the worst card in the deck, I think.
Okay. That was Mikey's band card, Switcheroo.
How Lutheran of you, Mikey.
I was I was very close to putting Switcheroo on my band card, but going into the top 3, I actually made it my third favorite card. This was a very difficult pick for me because I agree with Mikey completely on that everything he just said, where I don't like ruining all my plans. But sometimes there are games where all of your plans have already been ruined, more or less. And in those games, holy cow, that switcheroo feel good to draw because it's non-aggressive. So you could be in the absolute worst situation, but if you have switcheroo, you have not a great chance, but a chance to get yourself out of that situation. And unlike Atlas Shrugged works very well in low player counts and is very consistent in that state. In a 2-player game, I think it's only like a 1.5% chance to fail without rerolls. 2-player games are fair and balanced and all that. Switcheroo is the opposite, where it works well in a higher player count because then you have more opportunities to switch places. If you roll the die, there's a very high likelihood that someone else got the same roll if there's 8 players, since it's just a 10-sided die, birthday paradox and all that. So I like switcheroo in the context of, hey, my plans were already ruined. I'm going to steal someone else's plans. Whether they had good plans or not is up for debate. So hopefully I steal someone's good situation, and hopefully I steal Chris's place or something. That usually doesn't happen, but it's just a chaotic card, and I like chaotic cards every once in a while. It's kind of like you can also do it with a little bit of asserting dominance strats where it's like, hey, I know I'm this far ahead, but let's play switcheroo just for fun. Just to see what happens. And then maybe things will be fine. You'd be like, haha, I assert dominance and I'm still fine. Or things will go terribly wrong. You're like, now I'm really going to assert dominance and win from your position that you were in. After I crush you, I'm going to win from that position. And that's feels really good. When you after you get switcherooed, if you win from that losing position, it feels really good. So that's I kind of picked it a little bit there because it ruins me, so therefore it gives me a challenge. So that's kind of like a weird counter pick, but there it goes. Number 3 is my number 3 pick is switcheroo. What you got, Chris, as your number 3?
I chose Bad News Tornado.
Oh no.
I'm one of those people that likes to have outs to win the game. And sometimes your opponent losing all their carrots and starting over is one of those outs. Or sometimes you need to lose all your carrots so that you become less of a target.
Passive strats.
It's not like that happened to me at all recently.
Yeah. Not at all. Definitely not in turn 3.
Definitely not. I put it on strictly because it really is a unique card in what it does. There aren't a whole lot of cards that destroy all the bunnies and all the carrots, or at least most of them, all at once. And this is one where it's random. I kind of wish there were more of them in the deck.
Oh no! When you start heading towards Monopoly Longest Game Ever Edition. Too soon. I can see it. I would almost put on my top 3 list simply because it encourages 1-1-1 challenge. Haha! I am left with only Tucker. I'm going to stay that way now, as opposed to, hey, I started the game with 10 carrots. I don't really have a great way to get the 1-1-1 challenge, but now I do. So, a good challenge card. Delay of game, though. Feels bad. What's your number 3, Mikey?
My number 3 is Secret.
No!
It's okay, I've done that like 10 times over the last 2 episodes, so...
Secret.
This Kinder Bunnies, we have to pronounce it like the 5-year-olds would be pronouncing it, Sequit Squid.
No!
Secret Squid is my number 3, which you may see any other player's hand and take any one card that you like. You must also give one card back from your hand. This is a nice card. I mean, it's always nice to be able to look at someone else's hand because then you can kind of see what's coming up. And also, then you get to take one. If you like one, you get to take one. And you also have the opportunity to get rid of a card you don't want. I mean, all those things are just wonderful. The reason I put it as my number 3 is because this also can be done to me, and I do not like that. So it didn't deserve number 1 slot just because someone else could do it to me, but it is too spectacular to not put on the top 3.
Mikey likes good cards when he has them.
Yes.
Good cards for me, not for thee. I'm sure we'll be talking about Secret Squid later, so I will save my comments till then. Let's move on to the number 2 picks. My number 2 is Fugitive. It is an interesting card. A comparison can be made to Defector Detector. So Fugitive is placed on a bunny and all players roll one of the d10s. And whoever rolls the highest roll gets the bunny. Notably, the player of the card does not get a re-roll. So it's very fair in that every player gets a fair opportunity at stealing the bunny. And sometimes within the right context, say a passive neutral context, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're not looking for Defector Detector because that gives you an advantage, and then if you get it, you kind of feel bad, and people kind of feel bad about it, that you stole that bunny. If you steal it with Fugitive, it feels like, hey, we all had a fair chance at that. That seems fair that you have that bunny now, I'm not going to punish you for it. That's in a passive context, which are rare. Apparently, it happened during the tournament, but they are rare. I promise. They're supposed to be. But since I'm often playing, or at least seemingly playing within a passive neutral context, Fugitive is perfect for me. So that's why I picked it as my number 2. It's just a very nice. Nice to have more cards in the deck that have the potential to steal, because stealing is very good against Halo and holographic bunnies, and we all know that Bundergrounds won't be able to do it, so we need cards like Fugitive to do it. So that's why it's my number 2 pick. What do you guys your number 2, Chris?
I chose Secret Squid. I like it the same reason Mikey likes it. It feels really good to be able to take a card from your opponent, but I also like it because it gives you the free knowledge of their information. And I also like it because you can get rid of a crap card from your hand.
Yeah.
Yay!
Win, win, win.
There's nothing to dislike.
Yes. Very true. Yeah. That's I really, if you want to know how good Secret Squid is, there is a card.
Play it.
There's a yes, play it. There is a card in Conquest Violet that does the same thing. It's called Holiday. But that card requires you to play it on a day after a recognized holiday. Good luck. Secret Squid, there are no conditions. You just gotta have a bunny, and then you can play it. Holiday has that very difficult condition of playing Killer Bunnies on a very specific day. Well, less specific if your group recognizes more holidays, but you get the point. Even then.
Now, Ramadan lasts a month, so do you have to wait the entire month, or can you play at any time during the month of Ramadan?
It is 100% group dependent. So if you want to recognize each of those days separately, sure, go ahead.
Yay!
Yeah, that's I was going to say you could be a group that recognizes every holiday ever imagined, and then you can just play Holiday every day.
Yeah. We should play during Lent.
Yes.
Or we can play now during Advent.
Absolutely, we could do that. All right. So that was Chris's number 2, Secret Squid. I'm mispronouncing it.
Sequence squid.
Sequence squid. Sequence squid. What's your number 2, Mikey?
My number 2 is high-low cash. Roll the dice, subtract the smallest number from the largest number, and take that many bunny bucks from the discard pile. So the highest amount that you can get is 9. Some things, though, that I thought of that aren't great is if there's no bunny bucks in the discard pile, well, too bad for you.
You get vouchers.
I suppose. Now, the question that I did have about this, while playing in full set, since it specifically says bunny bucks, can you only take bunny bucks, or can you take Kabbalah dollar?
They're equivalent.
Okay. So, all right. Look at that. You could get free $9.
Value.
Which, yeah, I mean, free money is good money, right? So,
right.
That's my number 2, high-low cash.
$9 non-aggressive is very.
You roll
strong.
the dice and move your mice. No one gets hurt.
Yes. Yeah, $9 on a non-aggressive card. That's pretty efficient. I was very close to play on my list. All right, my number 1 pick is Secret Squid. We had it all over our list. It's just a extremely good card. Probably the best positively influential card in the Kinder set. An argument could be made for Switcheroo, but it's a little bit less consistent. And if you want to talk about impactful, you of course have the Bad News Tornado, the Bad News Aliens. But in terms of a positive impact, Secret Squid is the most impactful card. Where it's just like Chris and Mikey said, you get to look at the hand first of all, which is absolutely amazing to be able to look at a hand. That's worth a lot knowledge as long as you can keep track. You get to take the best card from the hand. Hard counters hidden investments. Anything that hard counters hidden investments, even though it's a strategy that I use frequently, I say the strategy is too strong because players don't know how to counter it. This card counters it. Good. We need more like that. There's a reason Hall Delay has a huge condition, because this is a very good effect. Very innocent in the context of Killer Bunnies exclusively. Very good in the full set. And you get to get rid of a bad card. Maybe you have Mardi Gras in your hand. Maybe you have Shuffleboard in your hand. Any of those that you really don't want and don't care about, let's swap it for the opponent's best card in their hand. Absolutely. I will take that right away. I would take a random card out of my opponent's hand just to get rid of some of those worst cards. But I get to look at their hand and pick whichever card I want with no conditions attached, no die roll or anything. Absolutely, I'm going to buy this back with buyback too, because this is the one card that's probably actually worth it. A few of them are also worth it, but this one is worth significantly more than the $5 requirement for buyback. That's why it's my number one. Secret Squid. It rewards players that know the cards well. Know your cards well. That's the lesson learned, I guess. If you see Ice 9, you take Ice 9. Alright, what's your number one, Chris?
I chose Switcheroo.
Aha!
Boo.
I like the cards that switch things around. I like the cards that give you an out when very few cards give you an out. It's exceptionally good in larger groups because then you have a better chance to switch. Rather than Atlas, which is good in smaller groups. Very, very good card.
Also worth noting, Atlas Shrugged is aggressive and Switcheroo is not.
Right.
You can play around Atlas Shrugged by just continuously killing all their bunnies, although if they get a triplet then that's the problem, but that's why you always stay with triplet in your hand when you're looking for an out. Pro strat. But Switcheroo does not require a bunny. There is good reason why there is a specific card in the full set that counteracts Switcheroo. Rue of the Day is the card. Also counteracts the yellow ball with red stripe for one instance, but including whenever a card is hard countered by a very special, it tends to be a pretty good card. There are exceptions. But you think of, hey, Wheel's Freshness Center is great. We have Wheelerware. Switcheroo is very impactful. Notice I use very impactful instead of great because it doesn't always go well. We have Rue of the Day. Things like that you gotta watch out for. Yeah, I definitely understand putting it high in the list. What's your number one, Mikey?
My number one is Hamlin Helper, which is essentially Magic Fountain of the Kinder Bunnies. And who doesn't like Magic Fountain? And your odds are a little bit better because you have 1 out of 10 instead of 1 out of 12. Now, one question I had about this one is with Hamlin Helper, are you only allowed to take Kinder Bunnies out of the discard pile?
You may take any.
I can take any?
Mhm.
Well, look at that. It's even better. You can take a bunny from the discard pile. Or as many, you could take up to 5. So, that's kind of good deal.
Ace 9 it.
Yeah! Look at that.
Yeah, I was very close to putting Hamlin Helper on my list as well. It's a very nice balance where it's statistically better than Magic Fountain in the sense that you roll the D10 instead of D12. That's obvious. But it also has the more hidden balance where since it is slightly better, and since Kinder cards tend to be weaker on average, with a few exceptions like Secret Squid, it's made to be a run card. Also because there aren't really special cards in Kinder, right? Very few. The cabbages don't count because they're not played the same way. So it's made to be a run card, which makes it an interesting balance in the full set because it is better than Magic Fountain in the sense that you got better odds, but you can't time it as nicely. So it balances itself out there inherently. Um, and also it's just the fact that it's not a P card that also hard balances it. Magic Fountain has the advantage of buying Orange Pawn and playing it twice. So you play Magic Fountain twice is better than playing Hamlin Helper once. Yes. But Hamlin Helper is a nice balance. They're both very nicely balanced, so that's always fun. I like seeing cards that are balanced around other cards, and it fits just perfectly. Seeing how tight Jeff made the math there. All right, that was our list for Kinder. As mentioned, those were all from Kinder Yellow. We're not doing a separate list for Kinder Blue. This was meant to be both lists. We just happened to all pick ones from Kinder Yellow because those are the ones with actual card text and actual relevance to the game. Unless you're playing KPS, and then all the Kinder Bunnies are very relevant. But I can't put them all on the list. So that was that list. Many people think that Kinder is not relevant, but I think we have seen that there are several relevant cards to be had in Kinder Bunnies. Some of the most impactful cards in the game, honestly, with the Bad News Tornado and the Switcheroo and arguably Secret Squid among experienced players. Definitely a set to be added to the full set. Hopefully it gets back in stock soon, am I right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun set and great for kids too as a standalone set, although I've never tried it. Mike will have to try that for us. He's got an opportunity.
Yeah, I got some cousins I gotta corrupt.
Yes. Yes, we must teach them first Kinder, then Lights, then Starter. Aha. All right. Anything you have to say, Mikey?
Well, if Matthew does this correctly, this comes out on Christmas.
Potentially.
Potentially. So, even if it comes out after Christmas, since I don't know what's coming out around Christmas, I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Winter Solstice. If you don't celebrate anything, Happy December 25th or around there. And I hope you all are doing well and staying safe. We got a light at the end of the tunnel here for COVID, hopefully. And so just hang tight for a little bit longer. And then you guys, we should throw a big Killer Bunnies tournament with like 100 people playing one game. And that would be horrible. But that's
100 people playing one game. I guess
Would it be over after one round?
It's possible. You would never be able to hold a bunny for one round.
Turn one bunny would be distressed.
Misfortune, 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 misfortune. Oh, it's really deck. Oh no. Oh, that'd be a nightmare. But I want to do it. I'm for it.
okay.
I'm for it. I don't think we're actually gonna do it, but absolutely.
Oh, so stay safe, stay warm, depending on where you live, or stay cool. And Jeff bless.
Jeff bless.